Merci beaucoup, Madame.
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've just heard from the President, the Commission is today presenting its economic doctrine for the next 5 years. It's simple and can be described in 3 words: competitiveness, competitiveness, and competitiveness. Based on this conviction, we have a roadmap which is about simplifying, investing, and accelerating our economic priorities. As the President reminded us, we share a vision that we have, and we have a roadmap that we have developed with all the Commission members. And I would like to thank the Commissioners who worked on this reference document. And it has a broad consensus, was discussed in our meeting this morning. We are looking at this. It will be about investing and defending our European model. That's also an important point. So the first important point that I want to emphasize is simplification. Obviously, we are going to simplify things, so it's a bit of a shock to the system, if you like. For our industry, we'll also be talking about all the different points that will be affected in other texts that will be involved in this simplification process. But why have we decided to do this? Well, we're looking at all European regulations, legislation, not just the most recent ones. We're looking at the quantity and the frequency of reporting. We're looking at the size of businesses affected, procedures, consistency amongst the texts, to make sure that there is coherence and transparency and legibility for our objectives, and the ability to move to a digital approach. We will be presenting the omnibus legislation proposal in the coming months, and at the end of 2026 we will be presenting something that many businesses, thousands of businesses, have been calling for: a single regime, a single form to fill out instead of 27. So a revolution, in fact. And the leaders have agreed to this in principle. It was a political issue that we really had to defend. The 28th regime, the Commission is convinced that the integration of the single market offers huge opportunity for simplification. We can have a European standard that replaces 27 different ones. So 1 in, 27 out, if you like. This is something that we defended this morning to the college as well. Secondly, investment. We are going to invest. Europe needs to hugely increase funding and liquidity for creators. I'm talking about innovation for our industry as well. I'm also talking about production. Private capital is also a key leverage, and we are proposing new European savings projects and legislation to favour investment. We are creating a European investment fund in the next MFF. The work on this has already begun. This fund aims to make sure that each Europe invested, that the public sector can create multiple investments at the private level. If we look at the investments made by member states at the national level and those at the investment at the European level, we see that we have a huge power there, but it's a fragmented situation, so it's a real loss in efficiency and effectiveness. So the Compass is proposing a coordination tool for competitive policies to make sure that we're all pulling in the same direction and all focusing on the same key strategies. This applies for all member states and governments and the European Commission, we are all aligned for the first time. All member states will call in for the application of the Draghi report and the suggestions there. In fact, that was the report that inspired the creation of this compass. So it's allowed us to be really aligned when it comes to our industrial and competitive strategy in Europe, and Draghi's report provided key impetus here, also amongst the co-legislators. We also want to coordinate strategies and investments in raw material with common purchases, like we did successfully in the past, in fact, with vaccines and with gas during the energy crisis. So this is also something that we will be looking at. The third and final point is that we are accelerating. It's a systemic effort, and this will be accompanied by sectoral plans, focusing on key strategies, traditional strategies that our industry depends on in general. So I'm talking about the chemical sector, steel, automotive. As the President said, these are crucial economies, particularly at the socio-economic level. They are the pillar of the resilience of our energy and will help us to make the transition to clean energy. This is why we will have a plan for those in 2025. Our competitiveness also depends on our ability to grow future sectors for Europe, clean tech, biotech, made in Europe, AI as well. These sectors will also have plans for 2025, taking into account the particularities of those sectors. Competitiveness is key for this custom, and it's this compass, and it's a horizontal approach, but also a vertical approach. The idea is not to create new legislation, or, in fact, what we want to do here with these new sectors is create business acts with the relevant commissioners, and these business acts will support those working in those sectors. Now, some people are stepping back from their commitments, whereas Europe, on the contrary, is focusing on high technology. We want to encourage the best creators, the best employers in these innovative sectors. And we also want to make our continent attractive to keep these innovative talents in Europe. So these are two key ambitions for traditional industry, but also the future industrial sectors, innovative ones, clean. The Clean Industrial Deal will apply to all of them, and my colleague Libra and the Commissioner Hoekstra will be presenting those plans in the coming weeks and months. So that is the compass that we have developed. There will be an opportunity for questions, but I just want to say that this is a change in our mindset for Europe and the Commission. We want to create a European model that is decarbonised, social, and respects our value, that focuses on competitiveness and allows us to stick to our target. And with this compass, we will make a leap forward in terms of progress. I've mentioned a number of the ambitions that we have set ourselves. They include making sure that we open more factories than we close, to increase made in Europe products, to keep and grow jobs in Europe, and to make sure all of these products are accessible to Europe. We have a market with 450 million consumers, but it's a bit fragmented at the moment, but we aim to change that. So in brief, that is how I see things from my portfolio.